Hey everybody, it's Brooks here, Senior Pastor of First Baptist Church of the Islands. Thank you for joining me for the 5 for 5 for today. Hope your day is going well so far. And at the end of this video, not only will I hope it's helpful for you, but I hope you pass it on to somebody as well. If you're watching this via email, be sure to forward it on to somebody. If you're watching it on one of our social media platforms, like it or whatever you're supposed to do with that particular platform so that others can benefit from it as well. So I want to talk to you today about just the simple topic of prayer. You know, prayer is the engine behind so much of the work that God does for us as churches, right? We need to be all about prayer. We need to be about taking our requests to the Lord, depending on the Lord in prayer. And really, when you think about any revival that's ever come in history, I think you could probably agree that what has undergirded those movements of God in people's lives has been prayer, people praying for God to move in that way. Well, prayer is so important, not just for us as churches, but for us as individuals as well. And if you're like most believers, right, there's room to grow in the area of prayer. Well, there's a passage that I had remembered from a long time ago, and honestly, I had forgotten about, and it came to my mind today. And it is such an interesting passage because it's so clear in what it tells us about prayer. It's in 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 23. And what Samuel is doing here, he's encouraging God's people throughout chapter 12. He's reminding them of certain things. But listen what he says in verse 23. He says, "Moreover, as for me, far be it from me that I should sin against the Lord by ceasing to pray for you. But I will instruct you in the good and right way." That is a powerful statement. That is a real instructive statement. From Samuel's perspective, he considered it sinning against the Lord by not praying for the people of Israel. You know what that tells me? That tells me we need to be praying for each other. Man, we need to be praying for our families. We need to be praying for our church family. We need to be praying for God to be at work in people's lives. In fact, I want you to think through even right now, before you step away from this video and go about your busy day, I want you to think about who can I pray for today? And then I want you to notch it up. This is my challenge to you. This 5 for 5 comes with a challenge. I want you to think, who can you ask, how can I pray for you? Someone that you've never really asked that to before. Maybe it's a coworker, maybe it's a random person in a drive-thru when you go get your fast food. Maybe it's a friend of yours in your neighborhood. Maybe it's a random acquaintance or someone you've never met. But I want to challenge you today for just one person to just step out of your comfort zone and in the course of that conversation just say, "Hey, how can I pray for you today?" And then when they give you an answer, if they give you something to pray for, I want you to pray for them. And what often happens is, number one, it takes their need to the Lord, which is a good thing. But number two, it shows that you care about them, that you have a heart for them. And then number three, many times when we just ask, "Hey, how can I pray for you?" that opens up a door for us to have even more conversation about the person of Jesus. How can I pray for you today? Who can you ask that to today before the sun goes down or before you go to bed tonight? Who can you ask that to that you've never asked before? Would you answer the challenge? And if you don't do it today, how about this week? Far be it from us that we would sin against the Lord by not praying for one another. You have a great day.